Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Ryan, and this is Unreal World, and we are here right where we left off at our roaring little fire here at noon. Because we are bitterly cold, I accidentally stepped into the water like a dummy. That was a lesson. I was trying to teach you guys a lesson in what not to do. But now it was an accident. I was trying to move around the lake, and I stepped onto it. It's kind of hard to see sometimes in winter. You can see like the little light blue. Of course, you can see where I stepped in here, these two holes. But anyway, we've got ourselves a fine tanning willow grouse skin here on the floor being prepared. We got some meat being prepared here, so you know what that means. We got lucky. Got ourselves a birdie. But first things first, I need to warm up here before we do anything else because I'm about on the verge of death. So I'm just cutting down some branches here next to me on the tree. Kind of helps pass time a little bit, and we don't have to worry about stepping away from the fire while I do it. So again, I just picked up the food because that was finished. Okay, we're hot again, so that's perfect. This still has a little bit of time left. Let's zoom out. Now, we got this bird from one of our four traps. I think it was the one up north. Yeah. But this location, it has been pretty bountiful just in terms of the traps. So we've decided in the last one to place a big trap here. So I'm going to grab these. Ooh, hold on, that's too much. I need to drop one of them, I think. Yep. So I need 8 slender trunks because we've already carried, what is it? Oh, yeah. 10. I've got 10 stones right here at my feet. So I'm going to drop the slender trunks there. I'm going to go ahead and cut down some right here, too. So we're determined to cut down or to build a large trap. Large, I think it's called a big deadfall trap. It's technically what it's called. All right, I need one more branch. So let me drop those. Very good. Okay. And the hard part is going to be the cordage, but actually I see a piece of cordage potentially that we can make, so maybe it won't be so difficult. But one thing at a time. Let me go ahead and grab all of these, and we just need one more here. So I'm going to drop a single slender trunk at my feet. Now, if I zoom in a little bit, I'm going to take you guys right over here to this little sapling. So there's a sapling right here. We just need to cut this down. Boom. So that's spruce sapling. I'm going to pick it up, and we've got just enough weight left here to run back to the shelter. So let's see, where is it? I have to zoom out to find it. Okay, I know where it's at. It's right below me. All right, the fire's still going. Let's get down there. So we're almost ready to make that trap, but let me pick up the fine tanning willow grouse skin. It's still got another stage here, I think. Let's see, Shift HT. Fine tanning skin. Yep, we're gonna have to let it soak now. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick drink. Now we've got that sapling, so I want to make some basic cordage with it. Here we go, spruce white. That's what we're looking for. That's like a basic piece of cordage made from a sapling, like stripped down, whatever. So here we go. We've got one spruce sapling. Let's do it. Now I already have one of these in my inventory, so let me look, double check. I should have two. Yeah, two fine. Oh, I actually had an inferior. We made two fine ones, so that's good. Our crafting skill's gone up, I guess, a little bit. But anyway, so we need these two here. I know that for a fact. I'm going to drop the feathers. Now we'll keep those. I'm going to try and move them to all one central location. Real quick, if you'll notice, I'll show you guys in case you haven't been here for the previous ones. We've got 4 shelters, actually 5 and 6 if you count these two on the periphery. But we've got 4 main ones. That's the big red X's. We are currently here. This little red circle is us. This is just a village here. These are villages, the yellow squares. These 3, 4 locations are like the central areas. This one in particular is the big one. This is where we have our skin. I've got all the feathers. So I'm trying to get back to this location. It's not that far. It's just it's extremely cold right now. And of course, with the very limited amount of clothing that our character has on, we've literally, let's see, if we look, we've got 3, 6, 9, 12 pounds of clothing on. That's it, man. That's like wearing nothing in the dead of winter almost. We're still at the 4th week, day 4 of the 8th week before midwinter point down at the bottom. But anyway, it's getting more and more challenging to say the least. So let's let that go. Let me look in my inventory. Okay, I've still got 5 stones. I want to carry these back to my central location, but we can set the trap up here. So let's get this big boy set up. I think it's about ready. Yeah, we've got everything we need. So I'm going to put it like right here, I guess. Let me zoom out. I want to see where. Okay, the shelter's there. I can probably put it right here. I just want to be able to see it. You know, I wanted it like the maximum visual range. So it's almost out of my sight, but not quite. There we go. And it really doesn't take that much time. Once you get all the materials assembled, as you can see, I had everything exactly at my feet that I needed, so it's all disappeared now. It's all on the trap. I'd love to bait it, but oh, I do have some cloudberries. Never mind. Put a couple of those in there. Hoping to get something big in that. I don't know what. Maybe a reindeer or something. That's possible if it's a small reindeer. So the fire's almost out. Let me check my skin here. Still has a half an hour to go. Damn. All right. I think the fire did literally just go out. Darn it. Well, we'll get it going again here, and I'm gonna kill some more time. It's noon, basically afternoon. So I am going to try to make it back to our main shelter. Okay, here we go. It is now a little bit afternoon, late afternoon. As you can see, it's gotten darker. We are sweating a lot, though. Let's move on the world map. Keep a close eye on my warmth. I'm sweating a lot. Literally, that's like the highest temperature you can be right now. Our warmth level is through the roof. Okay, it jumped only down to hot. That's good, actually. That's promising because it was going from like the highest level to like the fourth lowest, skipping all the other levels. But oh, we might be able to make it. See, it's just like real life. Obviously, some days are cooler, some days are hotter. Okay. Now, this is tricky because I'm not 100% sure where my shelter's at. Okay, it's down here. So I can look at myself on the map. So if you'll see, that little red dot is me, and I'm trying to get to this big red X right here. You can see these little pink slivers poking out. Those are traps that are kind of covered up by the big red X. So if that X wasn't there, if I deleted that, it's a marked marker I put. We would just see pink trap markers there. That's what that is, in case you're wondering. But anyway, we're super close. Let's get home. Okay, we got a few more steps. Oh, we ran into a bird. Um, Now it's too dark. I can't. I'd love to try for it, but we've got to get home. All right, now I need to really pay attention here. I think I passed it. Sometimes it's very difficult. There it is. You've got to get accustomed to figuring out. You can see I'm perfectly centered on the X, but in the previous two, I could tell I was just down and to the right of it. So if you get stuck traveling at night like this and you're trying to, find a one little specific spot, then don't be afraid to flip back and forth between, your world map and just take one little step at a time, trying to get your little circle lined up with that X, basically, is what you're doing. So it's not advisable to travel at the dead of night like this, though. So let's go ahead. We made it here. Wonderful. We're back at our home location, and I've still got some energy left. So let's see. This skin here still has some work to do. I brought it, right? I hope. Yeah, it's fine rinsed. Okay, so tell you what, let's get a nice roaring fire going. How about that? Okay, there we go. Took me about 9 tries, but I finally got it. So, like I said, there's plenty of energy left in our little character. It's evening, so it's getting late, but this is good. We're kind of on the right schedule right now. So, we do have some work to do on this skin left. So, I'm going to hit this. We're going to go to the rinsed one, and we're going to finish it. This is the last stage. Beautiful. Now we can literally drop these because I don't need to carry all this stuff. I've got some bunch of stuff I've been carrying around trying to get it here. So I'm going to drop these 5 stones. Also, I don't need 28 rocks. I probably only need about 10 of them. I like to have a pocket full of rocks for, like I said, like I've mentioned, throwing at small animals and stuff. But let's also go ahead and drop the leather. Again, we'll use this for crafting, so I don't really need to carry it. Same with the feathers. Those are for arrows later down the road. And I'll drop the slender trunks here. We'll use that for some firewood later. So we've got ourselves quite a bit of stuff. Now, in fact, I've got some bone here, too. We got ourselves a fox earlier on in the playthrough, which is pretty much the biggest animal we've gotten so far, and that's amazing. But unfortunately, the fur that we have here is not enough. Here, it's the only piece of fur we've got. Everything else is leather. But It's not enough to make any mittens yet. But no worries, no worries. What we're probably going to end up doing with the leather is turning it into cordage that we can use to make more clothing with out of fur. So that's what the leather's being saved for. And as you can see, you get very small scraps of that stuff. But anyway, I've got a bunch of cordage ready, 15 pounds of it here, just in case we ever get any meat. But that's the hard part. Now, anyway, the reason I mentioned the bone is because there is a whole crafting section for bone right here. Let's look through it and see if there's anything that might aid our survival and we can craft, right? Some of this stuff looks like it might be for trading purposes, like the bone artifact or the neck. This is probably just, yeah, bone decoration. These are trade goods. The knife handle pieces, now that's probably part of a functional item that you'll have to make in stages, but I don't need a knife. Darn it. I don't see any really important bone stuff. Now, that doesn't mean we can't make like arrowheads out of it, so let's try that. Let's hit. Where? Oh, arrows. Okay. Arrow shaft. Bone arrowhead. What? All right, let's make 5 of them. 0.5 pounds of bone. We've got that. I'm not going to use my mouse. I'm sorry. I use it for pointing things out, but really, I encourage you, if you are playing and you're new or whatever, get used to the keyboard. It's mainly controlled with the keyboard. The mouse is helpful for like the map sometimes, but mainly keyboard. Anyway, I just noticed we only have 0.4 pounds of bone, so I won't be able to make quite that many arrowheads, but let's go ahead and let's just do one. We'll try one. Let's not get in over our heads here with these. All right, so we've got that. Boom, we can actually make this. We're on our way to some arrows. So again, the arrows in the base game have been updated recently with like the blacksmith update, but this mod I think is going to change a lot of it, or at least adapt to it and incorporate a lot more options. But we ended up with one rough bone arrowhead. Let's take a look at it. Oh, where is it? There it is. It's in our weapons. It's rough. Well, the rough quality is not great, obviously. It would have been a lot better if it had just said bone arrowhead, you know what I'm saying? But let's try another one. Let's do one more. We've still got some. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, yeah, I've got more. Let's do it. We've still got a little bit of energy, and we're definitely warm enough. We obtained a decent bone arrowhead. There we go. So you can see this one just doesn't have any modifier. It's just like middle of the road, middling level. You could probably get like better qualities eventually if we get our crafting up, but so we might end up discarding the bone one. I don't know. At this point, we really can't afford to discard anything, can we? But no worries. We'll see about making more of this. Let's see. Let's keep going with the arrowheads here. This is fun. Not much else we can do with the bones, as far as I can tell. I hope, at least. I hope I'm not wasting these here. Okay, this is the last one. Beautiful. So what did we end up with? 2 fine, 1 regular, and 1 rough. That's pretty darn good for making 5. So I'm just going to drop them. I don't know. Let's go into the crafting menu, though. So I'm going to put them on the ground right at my feet here in our shelter. Be sure not to rest your head on them when you go to sleep, little guy. But let's take one quick peek before we go to bed at the arrows themselves. So obviously the shaft is going to be important. What do we use for that? Oh, just straight up. Oh, no. Okay. Arrowhead shaft blank. Huh. All right. How we do that? Arrowhead shaft. Unfinished bow. Antler tipped blunt arrow. Interesting. Fowling arrow. I don't know what that is. Broadhead arrow. Okay. Forked arrow shaft arrow. Huh. What is it? I need a arrow shaft blank. Wow. Well, I'm pretty sure there's a guide for some of these mods that are in here, so I might have to end up referring to those at this point. Of course, it'll just take me some time to experiment too, nonetheless, but no worries, no worries. I just wanted to get a brief look at it, so I think it's about time for bed. Okay, good morning, everybody. It is early morning, as you can see up here, and I ate before bed, so we're actually very low. I've got 2 pieces of meat left and just a couple of handfuls of berries, but that's it. No worries. We're going to keep on. Our starvation is still kind of moving forward. I think it was a little bit less than this last time I looked, but no worries, no worries. We're not worried. But anyway, I did make myself a nice fine leather cord. I decided to grab all the little scraps of bird leather that we've been accumulating and do a little crafting here because it's still very dark. So I've got a fire ready, but we're still comfortably warm. Let's make another one. What do you say? So I hit the R for repeat, and it's asking me now for half a pound of leather. We have a knife and a branch for twisting, and that's pretty basic crafting, so we're able to do that. Boom. There we go. And we just obtained a decent leather. Let's check them out. So here in the inventory, I now have one fine leather cord and one leather cord, 15 feet. That's a good length, too. That's like a rope. But no, it's actually not a rope because there are ropes in the game. It even says it when you look at the crafting menu for this. We go in here to leather rope versus leather cord is what I just made. And down at the bottom it said cords are tying equipment thicker than yarn but thinner than a rope. So my hope is when I go to make some clothing, I'll be able to use this leather cordage here because almost all clothing recipes require some sort of cordage, to sew it and stuff. But okay, so we're going to leave those here. There's no real reason for me to carry around that leather cordage. And since I don't have the fur yet, I can't do anything else with it. So I'm just going to drop it. Plus these little bit of leather scraps left. That's good enough. We'll use those for other stuff later down the road. So we're off to a good morning. It's still dark though. So I've got to kill some time cutting down branches off the tree. You can see it's actually, yeah, as I do this, the daylight expands a little bit here and there. So I hope it's not a super cold day. That's my only concern is that we'll try and get out there on the world map and it's going to be just like devastatingly cold. So we're at the level of vigor now where it's one below. I could sleep now. We can take a slight little quick nap. And I'm going to do that just to pass the time here real quick. Okay, we're still warm because we're in our shelter. There's no fire, but that's a good sign that the weather's probably not terrible. So let's go into stealth mode because I always move in stealth just for practice. And I'm going to peek out here at our traps real quick. Nothing. Okay, do we check this one? No. Okay, there we had 5 traps and nothing's in any of them. So let's check our others real quick. We've got one right here. Oh, there's a hare in this location. Yes, please. I think we noticed this guy last time. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's been hanging around our traps for days, man. You see him right there? What the heck's he doing? Why don't you just stay? He wants the mushrooms, probably. I think these have mushrooms in them. Yeah, I put those like hallucinogenic mushrooms in here because we can't eat them. They're poisonous to us. But all right, little buddy, you go ahead. I'm not going to hunt him. He's destined for our trap. I guarantee one day we'll show up there and he'll be stuck. All right, so there's nothing in that one. Watch the temperature. If this drops to cool, we've got to get home. But I'd love to see something on the map right now. See, and again, this, oh, comfortably warm, okay. This is why I have these little shelters here, stationed strategically so I can stop in, look for some traps, because we got traps here too, just a couple. But we could set a fire real quick. Might as well do it. Get ourselves a little bit of warmth, because I want to travel down south today too, a little bit farther. So let's get a real quick. We'll just do we'll just do branches. So I'm gonna do 20 or twigs or whatever. I don't want to waste my slender trunks right now. Okay, so there we go. And just warm it up. Is that gonna be enough? See, the fire wasn't big enough. Dang it. All right, hold on. Give me one sec. Okay, there we go. Now we're sweaty. I just had to push some more branches in there and work a little bit more. But okay, we got our warmth up. There we dropped to hot, but that's okay. It's maintaining that. So I want to head down this little corridor here that we can see through. Very good. We're warm. There's a shelter down here if we need to warm up. I've got one down here, but really my hope is to run into an animal, of course. There's our shelter. It's getting late now, so the visibility is too limited to even hunt at this point. But if we take a quick peek at the world map, you can see that I do have a 5th shelter. We managed to get this built here at this location. I didn't even mark it on my map. I forgot to. But it's represented by the brown triangle right there. It's a shelter. I'm not going to try for that right now, obviously. I don't know what's there. I can't remember. It's probably not a lot, but let's zoom into this location and see. Oh, wait, there might be traps here. Let's check real quick. We're not cold or anything. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there's a trap, but nothing's in it. Move my cursor. Let's see. Did I send? Yep, there's another one. Nothing's in it, including no bait. I don't know if I even put any. Nope, nothing there. Let's check to the left. Up, sadly. But hey, you see why it's good to set up these little shelters with the traps. Even just bare bones. Just do 4 quick lever traps. I think it's been so far what's keeping us alive. But sadly, it's not enough to really maintain at this level. So we're gonna set up here for the night. Probably accumulated a little bit more firewood. Whoops, I didn't mean to zoom out. And we need to get some water in them though. There we go. Whew. Took a while. All right, guys. Well, it is. You can see there is snow on the ground now officially. We could even kind of look at it and see if you hit the L button to look and you just select a piece of ground with snow, it'll show you here marsh covered, or I'm sorry, moss covered marshland and a thin covering of snow with a thin crust, it says. Now, this is helpful for a couple of reasons when you're trying to track or ski specifically. If you want to be able to ski, you have to have a certain amount of snow on the ground. Now, unfortunately, for this winter, we're not going to be able to ski because we just don't have the materials to make a set of skis or buy one, trade with. So we're just trying to survive. And when what that means is when we get to a point where there's like knee deep snow on the ground, and there will be, it's going to be very hard for us to move. And actually, our energy and stuff will go down just from walking around, basically. Because you got to imagine he's like slugging through huge snow drifts and stuff as he's traveling. Whereas in the summer, you can walk freely for days and days without losing any fatigue or whatever. But not in the winter in the snow. So even if you're skiing, it's difficult unless you're like a really expert skier, but you can see that his skiing skill, he's an amateur. But the good news about that is I can tell you in like one winter worth of like traveling, once we do get some skis eventually in the future, this goes up real quick. He learns how to ski very quickly. So in a winter or two, he'll be at like master rank with it. So, but we've got to get there first. We got to survive this first winter. That's the hard part. And take a quick peek at the time down here. We're on day 5 of the 8th week before midwinter. So once we get to midwinter, that's going to be like, of course, theoretically the coldest, most dead month, so to speak, as the game refers to it. But every day after that, we're working back towards warmth. You can think of it like that. That's the kind of the tipping point where if you get to that point, it's all uphill or it's all downhill from there, I guess you would say, so it's easier. Theoretically, we'll see. But so, in other words, we're still 8 weeks away from the tipping point. Ugh. But hopefully, we get some time in the morning. Let's go ahead and eat the last of our roasted willow cuts. That's it. That's the last meat we've got. It didn't really do much to hold back our starvation. I mean, it did a little bit, but I meant to eat the frostberry or the cloudberries, but we can't. So we're too full. That's amazing. Let's go ahead and just go to sleep, man. Enough chatting. Let's do it. Oh, look. A little bit of the snow melted overnight. That's nice. Oh, that's a good sign for us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, it's still too dark, so let me kill a little bit of time, and then we're going to head out, see what we can find out in the open fields. Okay, well, it is morning, guys. It is a beautiful day. I'm hoping it's nice and we are comfortably warm. That's not as good as it could be, but let's try and move. I did check the traps this morning. There was nothing there, sadly, but I walked around. I'm keeping a close eye on that warmth. It's starting to rain right now. Damn, we got cool. We either turn back or push on. Let's push on because remember we can always stop and like build a fire. Especially here in the woods. There's plenty of trees and stuff. It's just the colder you get, the harder it is to start a fire. Because imagine your hands are shaking. You're pressured, so it is more difficult. Hold on, we got traps right here. So we did just drop down to chilly, but it's worth stopping at these traps real quick. We're back home, basically, so no luck. Okay, let's get inside our little shelter here. Whew, all right, we made it back home. Hold on, let's look. Hold on, I got visual range here on my traps. Nothing, unfortunately. That's okay, no problem. Let's zoom back in here. Whew, okay, we're back here with our bones, our arrowheads and stuff. Of course, we're not quite ready. I haven't figured out how to make those arrow shafts yet, but we don't have a bow yet either. So we've still got to also get a bow string together at some point, but we're working towards it. Don't worry about that. Let's see now. I've got some things I want to drop. I made a staff. I was just kind of trying to kill some time and stuff, and I know you can further craft a staff into like I think it's a javelin, so we might make some of those up. But this is a rough quality one, so I'll probably end up just burning that one. But let's see, what else do we got to drop here? I made some more cordage just in case. Wanted to keep that with me. It's pretty handy to have it. All right, we're good. We're really slim here. I think it's just time for a fire. Okay, there we go. I've got the fire going, and of course we are not sweaty, but there's still a lot of daylight left. I mean, we can get back out there, and maybe travel a little bit more. Should we? I guess we should from here head north to our other two shelter locations, see if there's anything there. Now, of course, in case you guys, if you're just tuning in or if you've only seen a few of the recent episodes, we are trying to avoid all civilization. So if I zoom out, you can see this white area. This represents a culture known as the Owl Tribe, and we're very close to them. In fact, I've got one shelter inside their cultural boundaries, which they're okay with. They're not going to get pissed for that. But my point is that we're not going to interact with them. We are not. So my guy is an escaped slave, and as a young man, he's literally only 16 years old. That's what you start the game as, I believe, 16 or 18. But he's young, and he's been traumatized, so he avoids all civilization, even if they're good guys like the Owl Tribe is. So what we're going to do is we're going to eventually push over here to the east in this direction where you can't see it now because it's all covered with basically the fog of war. We can't see this yet, but we'll open this up, and this is just no man's land out here. No civilization, just total wilderness. So we're going to eventually, once we get back to probably in the first spring, as soon as the snow thaws and we've made it out of our first winter, we're going to start to head out, guys. So that's the whole point here. We're having a little hermit's run, and I'm pretty excited for it. You know, that's in fact why I did install this particular mod with all the different crafting, because we can be totally self-sufficient. We can make everything from clothing, like you saw, all the way up to iron stuff. So we can make axe heads, anything we need, we can craft it ourselves. So I'm pretty pumped for it, guys. We've got ourselves probably a small little hunting trip ahead, but we're going to save that for the start of tomorrow's episode. So I hope you guys will tune in for that one. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. Check the description down below. I've got some links down there to my other playlists if you'd like to watch some of my other Unreal World content. And I hope you guys enjoy all of that. And I will see you on the next episode. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my newest Patreon supporters. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to support my work, check the link in the description below.